Hey, I'm here at the Manassas Gap trailhead. It's 2.9 miles west of the Markham exit on the John Marshall Highway. You can hear the sounds of Highway 66 in the background here. It's right off the interstate. Today this is going to be a short couple of miles up to the Manassas Gap shelter, which is a great lunch or picnic spot unless you're through hiking, in which case you can stay there overnight. And then back down. Manassas Gap is only an hour west of DC. It's a great destination. The Manassas Gap hike starts with this entranceway here. There's a nice little picnic bench under a really large mulberry tree here. And in season you can get quite a lot of mulberries off of there, if you can beat the birds. Then we continue on through here to a nice little bridge over the creek, which was just rebuilt, then on up the hill. This bridge used to be kind of rickety, but the volunteers have come out here and rebuilt it and done a wonderful job. It's a beautiful, beautiful little spot. Kind of rustic. Over that and on up the hill to the shelter. All right, I'm up here on a big rock. You can see where the trail goes by here. Off and up and off and up. Yeah, I got up here on these rocks to get a better look. The wind's blowing really nice right now. It's cooling. It's threatening rain. I hope it doesn't rain, or the camera might get a little wet, but it's life outdoors. It's a beautiful little piece of trail here. It goes right past a little farm. I learned to love the easy downhills because the hard uphills are there to be found. Now, going downhill too long is actually more painful than going uphill after a while, because the knees, especially as they get older, really don't like getting jammed into these downhill portions for mile after mile. Hey, I'm hiking along here and I came across a volunteer who's out helping with the video survey of the trail with the Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. This is Kevin with the PATC. Kevin, can you tell me real quick what you're out here doing?
Yeah, we've got a project that's generally referred to as the Mega Transect. It's been going on for a couple years, and a bunch of the PATC folks, including myself, volunteer to take cameras, which I've got mounted on the tree over here, that are infrared triggered, and we put them off the trail. So the general idea is to not get hikers. We're trying to find out what wildlife we got going up and down the trails. This is taking place from North Carolina up to Pennsylvania, and every month we move the cameras a little ways. We get a new set of images, and then we're working for a wildlife biologist who's making sense out of what we've got going up and down the trail, and how diverse that wildlife is and how well it's doing.
So who's funding this, do you know?
You know, I'm embarrassed to say I'm not really sure. I think it's a lot of donations on behalf of the National Park Service, Smithsonian, and at least one university that I can't recall.
Yeah, and it's all volunteer work getting out here and putting these cameras up. And
yep.
We won't reveal this location in case somebody wants to come and take your camera, but wow, I really look forward to seeing what the results are. Found anything interesting yet?
Me personally, a lot of small stuff because I'm working in fairly populous areas here. But collectively, we've gotten, of course, as you can imagine, a lot of whitetail. We got a lot of black bear, some bobcat, coyotes, fox, and then all the usual critters, possum, raccoons, you name it.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, my pleasure. Enjoy your hike.
Thank you. So if you're out hiking and you see one of these, leave it be. It's out there taking pictures. You can't sell it on eBay. They'll come find you. And shh, don't tell anybody. Tall grass like this, tick country. So after you walk through a patch like this, make sure to check your legs, your ankles. Make sure there's nothing crawling on up there. Alright, I've just come up the steepest part of this climb. It's a little bit ahead of me. And about 3/4 of the way up this hike, you come across this old low stone wall. You'll find walls like this all through this area. Remnants of when farming took place up here. Some of them going back before the Civil War. Most of the farms were cleared off these mountaintops during the Depression, when Roosevelt established the national park system well, you know, expanded it, came through. Civil work projects came through and built the roads up in here. But this has been left to go back to forest. And we're left with just these few remnants of what used to be up here. Well, I've come across some remains here. I was happy after my initial shock to figure out that this wasn't a hiker, but looks like Bambi isn't going to make it this year. Too bad. Eventually, you'll come across this little sign pointing the way to the fabulous Manassas Gap shelter, and you'll know that you're almost there. Finally, here I am, Manassas Gap shelter, old enough to have been built by Civilian Conservation Corps. The logs that it was built out of are American chestnut, a tree which is now pretty much extinct in North America due to a fungus. But it's a really nice stop, great water source. Let's take a look around. Picking up some raindrops here, hope it doesn't hit the camera. This is the Manassas Gap shelter. Lovely old chestnut, American chestnut logs. Park benches. It's a good place to have a rest, take a load off. Three-sided traditional lean-to. In the summer it's full of through hikers. Now if nature calls, don't run into the bushes, because here at Manassas Gap they have this wonderful little privy. Do not fear the privy. Do not fear the privy. Of course, one of the best things about Manassas Gap shelter is the water source. Now it's running a little low despite recent rains. I've seen this thing gushing before. Always filter the water here, but it's a pretty reliable source. You're always going to be able to get a cold drink out of here. It's a lovely little watering hole. And of course, off it goes into the weeds and bushes. And there you have it, Manassas Gap north to the Manassas Gap shelter. It takes about an hour and a half to get up here depending on how fast you are. It's a good place to have a picnic. 5 miles further on is Dick's Dome if you want to do an overnight, or you can stay here. Manassas Gap, North Virginia.